We're starting at Autodesk for our opening breakfast.
We're in a place that's absolutely extraordinary, and it's like being in a museum about design.
All the Knight Foundation people were there, which was really cool.
And to the Irvine Foundation and our new California Arts Fund cohort members, we're so thrilled to have you here and looking forward to how this work applies to the stuff that we've been doing together as cultural organizations in California.
We just heard a lot of great presentations from all the partners bringing the Market Street Prototyping Festival together.
I was surprised by how moved I was, particularly by the presentation from Gale Associates, the architects, about why prototype, and I was really surprised by how much overlap in idea there was between the concepts he was talking about and the work that we do.
Hearing more about the coordination between the city and all the different partners that work together, I think that was probably the most surprising thing. That's something I wasn't aware of going into this.
In my experience, artists think very differently about space, about objects in space, about the public's interaction with their environment in ways that planners and architects don't think about.
You could really genuinely see that they liked working with each other. They felt it was important, that they were creating a new paradigm of how to work with each other.
It was just really interesting to learn about and made us kind of wish that we had that kind of partnership in our own community.
After Autodesk, we came back and shared with one another our prototype ideas.
I have to be honest, we were a little late to the beginning because we stayed looking at the prototypes. We were a little distracted.
We came back to the hotel and started talking about our own half-baked engagement ideas and what we are interested in prototyping.
To a certain extent, NCAF is about the celebration of the half-baked idea into something grander. So it wasn't a surprise to me that folks came in with very clear half-baked ideas, and they may not know the course of action they're going to take yet, but I think that's the point.
So our half-baked idea at the Music Center is really thinking about how we do dance differently.
We sat down and took some time in looking at 6 specific categories.
There was a list of 6 areas to look at along the process of coming to what the prototype is. What are your goals? What's this desired outcome?
What are some of the partners and resources that we have to activate prototypes to actually test some of these ideas?
What would an actual prototype look like? So really diving deeper into what our half-baked idea was as a group, and then we shared them into the larger group.
We also, in terms of the long-term impacts, want to use this as an opportunity to build our own muscle and organization capacity.
Then we had some conversation around some of the similarities, some of the differences, what have we experienced, how has this brought new ideas to our half-baked idea.
Everyone sort of looks at their work through a civic lens, and so that was really inspiring and encouraging. We identified a lot of similar risks as well in approaching this work, that we not only need internal buy-in, but also external partnerships in order for these prototypes to happen. I find that at Cornerstone, we really sort of got in and got dirty and started the dialogue of what our potential prototypes could look like. Our most remote communities.
After lunch, we took the cohort on a guided walk. Together, we set off on 3 of the 5 districts.
It was a little bit freeform, but also some things we spent more time at and met with the artist or the creator about their intention and what the project was.
You can fill in the blank. People have written, the San Francisco can do anything. The San Francisco are not afraid of change.
I feel like it was almost like a 10-course meal that I am still digesting.
I think we wanted to give them some guidance and point to different aspects they might not normally see as a way to lead up to day 2. Tomorrow, while we will still engage the festival, it becomes more of the comparative framework to what they're working on with their projects in their cities and their concerns. What comes next today is a dinner in our beautiful forum at YBCA.
Chance to kind of meet new people and have conversations and really kind of see how much went into putting this together.
Bringing together private with government, with arts. I think those are all the pieces that have a really broad application.
And there was the Knight Foundation, there was all of us NCAFers, there were lots of other city officials from San Francisco and around the country. Nina Simon was on a panel.
For me, when I looked at what's out there on the street, I knew that for every project where we saw where you thought, gosh, I knew that wasn't going to work, There was a project you saw where you thought, I never would have guessed that that would work. I was just so heartened to see that risk-taking happening live in public and real learning happening.
After the dinner, my colleagues and I went out for a couple drinks. We were talking about sort of how the prototyping, the idea of prototyping could be useful to us in our practice.
How do I take this back to my organization? How do I take it back to my community and the work that we're doing? And how can we apply some of these principles to that? Like I wrote down a bunch of notes about things that I want to do going back now, working at Cornerstone, and some things to implement, some things to try. So that's, I think, the most exciting thing about ending day one.
By the end of the day, I was pretty saturated, but really satiated at the same time because there was a lot to think about.
To see them at play and really engaging was just lovely and really spoke to what we were trying to accomplish.